Just 2 days into the month of February, we already have right here on the screen the champion fragment event that will be available for this month of February, which you can obtain by doing a bunch of events and tournaments. Don't worry, it's not starting anytime soon. You have up till the 8th of February to prepare. That's when this fusion will launch, and I guess that's when the event calendar will launch. So we'll know how hard or difficult this one will be. But by looking at these champion skills, we can already tell by just looking at it whether it's going to be a good champion or one that you want to skip. Let's go over that in this video. And this champion is not coming alone. I'll tell you right now, this champion, her name is Wight Queen Ankora, and she's coming along with Wight King Naris. He is not part of the fragment event. She is the only champion available through a fragment. I guess they will disclose how you can obtain him soon, but she is the main character that we want to look at. And most of her skills, when they're releasing two champions like this, most of her skills will always be in synergy with his skills. So take note of that when you're reading her skills. So for her character design, I guess it's going to be a night red faction, because you can see, no, it almost looks like an undead, but they say it is a night red faction. You can see it right here. I'll take a look at these skills, and in this video, I'll tell you whether my main account will always go for every fragment event because they are kind of easier to complete. But my Noob to Pro series, which is looking for legendary and epic champions to complete the fusions, to complete the Lydia challenges, to get Lydia in faction wars, that's what that account is looking for. I'll tell you whether she's going to be going for other Noob to Pro. And also the free-to-play 2024 accounts that are currently going on, can they complete their first fusions, and will this champion be worth it for most free-to-play 2024 accounts that have been saving resources to go for her? I'll see if she's going to be worth our time or not. All right. Necrobolt is at A1, which attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random ally skill by 1 turn, except this champion. So she doesn't decrease the cooldown of her own skill. She decreases the cooldown of a random ally skill by 1 turn. That's not a skill that you want to use in content where you are speed tuned, right? You don't want to always use, you don't want your skills to come off cooldown when you don't expect them. So because it's random, it's not going to be, definitely not a Clambos champion, because we like to know when a particular skill will be used in content like that. A lot of other content also want to be speed tuned, and some other content like the arena will be very, very useful for this skill right here, which you want to nuke, and all of a sudden the skill is back again for you to nuke again. Or even in dungeon content, to also be very useful to have your skill that you just used come off cooldown and available for you to use again. That's a useful part of this A1. So already I'm impressed with the A1 that it's a low chance of making it happen, booked up to a 50% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill. Not all the ally skill, just one skill out of their 3-4 skills. All right. If Wight King, which is the other counterpart of her, if he's in the same team, has any of his skills on cooldown, decreases the cooldown of one of their skills by 2 turns. So if you don't have him, she'll just do it on any other allies. But if you have this champion, Wight King in his in the team, she'll most likely target that skill cooldown for him, decrease the cooldown of one of his skills. So it's not going to be all his skills. Also, another condition right here, if he's on the team and is the same team and has no skills on cooldown, she will decrease the cooldown of a random ally. So she will always prioritize Wight King Naris over any other allies when she wants to do this skill cooldown reduction. So it's random when it's not there, but if it's there, he will be a priority right here. He has any active skills on cooldown, it decreases it. He has no active skills on cooldown, which decreases a random ally skill. I think that's very, very straightforward. If the cooldown on the skill is fully reset, also heals that ally by 10% of this champion's max HP. So they're also trying to make her a healer too, because according to her support role, it says she's support. According to her role in the game, she's going to be support. So A1 healing along if the champion's skill is fully reset. That's a loaded A1 if you ask me. So it's not a useless one, it's a useful one. And we've seen quite a few champions who can do something like this, but it's not like a full 2 cooldown reset, but it's still very, very useful in some content. Now on the A2, when you spend books on it, it will be on a 3-turn cooldown. She removes all debuffs from all allies. That's a full team cleanse. We would like to see that on support champions, and also places a shield buff on them equal to 25% of this champion's max HP. So she'll be built with a lot of HP. I'm already thinking of bolster set. So high HP, high shield will be hard to damage. So she's just going to do a full team cleanse and a big shield on everybody. A condition right here, if Wight King Naris is on the team, also places a 25% strengthening on all allies. So this one is going to be a very, very useful one. She doesn't just place the strengthening on him. Because he's there, she's going to put the strengthening on everybody. Then fills the turn meter of all allies by 10%. That's too small. That's too small to be significant, but it's still useful. So they really, really want you to pair these two champions together, Wight King Naris and Wight Queen Ankora. So that's a strange synergy right here, but it's still a synergy all the same for those players who will be going to get both of them and use them in the same team. So far, I can't see the reason why they should be working together all the time. So far from the A1 and the A2, it doesn't seem like he's 100% necessary to make her useful. It's only the strengthening so far that has made you want to maybe have him in the team. But a shield alone is enough to sustain your allies, right? But a strengthening will even make it even better for them to not have their shield broken down so fast. On the A3, Rise My Love is a A3 skill that has a 3-turn cooldown when booked, on a 5-turn cooldown when not booked. That's a full team revive. It revives, oh, not a full team revive now. It revives a dead ally. That's a 1 champion revive, a dead ally with 50% HP and 75% turn meter already filled. It resets the cooldown of the revived ally skills. So once they are back to life, they are already back to their skill. Just like, what's her name now? Is it Sky Touch Shaman? I forget the champion we use a lot in Iron Twins Fortress. I think it's Sky Touched. I forget. But whenever she revives somebody, she resets their skills cooldown. So that's a very, very good one. That's why it's not an AoE revive. That's why it doesn't bring everybody back to life, because it's so broken that it brings somebody back to life, and then their skill is available for them to use. All their skills, right? Oh yes, all their skills. Now, if Wight King is also in the team, it revives them with 75% HP and 100% turn meter instead. So she really, really will bring him back to life, and his turn meter is full and ready to go. That's a useful part of the skill right here. After the revival, decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 10%. If he's in the same team, right? I think that's also part of his own skill if he's there. If he's also in the same team, or if he is revived, decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 20% instead. This effect cannot be resisted. So most of our skills, as we've seen it, doesn't need accuracy. Even the A1 doesn't need accuracy. So now also this A3, it makes sense that it also doesn't need accuracy. So this champion can be fully focused on just pure HP. But let's check out the passive though. Passive goes on a 3-turn cooldown. You can spend books on it, but it will have no cooldown anymore once you have books on it. That's a passive, right? Yes, it is. Whenever an enemy tries to place fear through fear, freeze, provoke, sleep, and stun or petrification on her, on the ally with the highest crit damage. Oh, not just on her, on the ally with the highest crit damage. That means your main damage dealer, which is probably going to be Wight King, transfers all debuff to this champion instead. So you put it on my damage dealer, she gets it. You put it on my Foley, she gets it. You put it on my which other damage dealer do I need? Any damage dealer you need for the arena, you put some debuffs on them, whether it's any control, any CC debuff, not just any debuff now. As long as it's going to control them, whether it's provoke, stun, sleep, anything that is going to be a negative effect on them and make them not have their turn, she's just going to take that debuff instead. Transfers those debuffs to this champion instead. Just like a UDK steals those. UDK doesn't do it for all CC debuffs though. You put it on UDK, it goes to the other ally instead. So that's on a 1-turn cooldown or no cooldown when you spend books on this passive. fills the thermometer of this champion by 50% if this champion misses their turn due to any of these debuffs. So if she is controlled by the stun, by the sleep, by the provoke, if she misses her turn due to these debuffs, especially fear or through fear, right? That's the only one that can make her miss her turn. Fear or through fear. Freeze, maybe freeze might apply to freeze too, but provoke does not make her miss her turn. Sleep and stun will also make her miss her turn. So if that happens, she will have a turn meter feel. But I think provoke doesn't make her miss her turn. She'll still use her A1 when provoked. So she'll just get a turn meter feel, 50%. Makes her very, very easy to get back to her skills. This is a very, very crazy good champion. Just by looking at her skills, forget about the fact that you have to pair with Wight King Naris, right? The part where you don't have Wight King Naris alone as a champion, standing alone, she's amazing. Even if you don't like the fact that she does a full team cleanse, she brings a big shield based on her HP along with her cleanse. That's one reason to have her. Whenever she uses her A1, does it have a cooldown? Yes, 50% chance that she will decrease the cooldown of one of your allied skills. That's a very, very useful A1. So now that you're looking at these skills, now you're seeing the passive that says she cannot have any of this CC debuff on one of your allies with the highest crit damage. She will get it instead and benefit from it. She's a useful fragment event. So I can't say anything bad about her yet, because so far I'm looking at an amazing support champion. She has the revive, she has a little bit of healing, she has big shield, she has cleanse, everything you need from a reviver. This champion, Wight King Ankora, has it. Wight Queen Ankora, I mean. At the start of this champion's turn, that's not all with the passive, she removes any fear, through fear and all that stuff debuff from this champion. But that's a conditional one. That's if he's on the same team. So I guess I shouldn't have read that part, because so whenever you don't have Wight King, she will have the sleep and the stun and everything on her and gain 50% turn meter. But whenever he's there, she's just going to take it off and get her turn like nothing happened. Damn. If there are multiple champions on the same team with this skill, only one will activate. Yeah, we know that. Increase speed in all battles by 19%. So this champion is not just built for arena. She's not just built for Hydra. She's not just built for dungeons. She's built for every content where you need a full team cleanse, where you need a big shield that will be very, very useful, where you need a reviver. One ally gets revived, gets his skill reset so he can use it immediately. Then for those players who are most likely spenders who can get Wight King Naris, probably going to be available through a 10x or a progressive chance event, because whenever they release champion like this, the second one will most likely be one that you have to spend your cash money to get. It won't be one that is obtainable for free like she is obtainable if you can spend all the resources in terms of your time, energy, gems to go for a fragment event to get fragments of her and eventually pull her. So I'm saying the fragment event for the month of February is a good one. Better than the January one. The January one, we got her, we just kept her one side. Zinogre Blade Master, she's there. She's in our fragment portal right now. Nobody is rushing to pull her. She's useful in some content, but this champion is going to be useful in a lot of content. Am I saying that because she's a support champion? Most likely because I like support champions. But let's just check out Wight King Naris. He is not part of the fragment event. Like I said, he's just going to be, see, he's even void. It's void. There's no way they're going to give you a void champion for free. So this one will even be more difficult to obtain. So check out his skills right here. A1, 30% chance of randomly increasing the cooldown of the target's skills by 2 turns. So that's a negative effect on the enemy that he's targeting. And then he doesn't need accuracy if she is there. Big flex. That means they want you to pair him with her. So his A1 can be very, very difficult to deal with when he resets increases your cooldown if you're on the enemy team. A2 attacks all enemies. That's an AoE skill that will ignore 25% of the target's defense, places an extra hit on targets under shield or strengthen buffs. That means he still wants to do damage to those tanky teams you find in the arena who usually have a big shield bolster set, or even a strengthen for Mitrala and others. So that's it right here, a solution for you looking for damage dealers for the arena, most likely. Damage inflicted by this skill cannot be decreased by enemy passive skills or masteries. That means what's her name? Duchess and all those other champions. I forget all those. These other two champions, Mariska and Taras, and all that, who have a bunch of passive where they are not even taking any damage. This is the solution right here that I think they are trying to bring out for you guys, because when they cannot decrease the damage he's dealing to them from their passives and all that stuff, or masteries, he's gonna do full damage. Except bosses, though. Bosses, he can't do full damage. Damage inflicted by this skill cannot be increased by either these champions masteries or ally passives either. So that's also the negative part of this, except when attacking bosses. So champions who buff your damage from passive, like I forgot this other champion who he puts a poison. When there's a poison out there, you do 20% more damage. Champions like that who have a passive like that, they cannot inflict more damage on him, or for him to do more damage. It doesn't work. It's a good thing you only have he will be based on attack, I guess. His increased attack and all that will do more damage. All right, on the A3, Spirit claim you. Spirits claim you. That's the A3 based photon cooldown when booked. Attacks one enemy 2 times, increase the damage inflicted by the skill by 10% for each buff on the target. He's here to just kill tanks. He's ignoring their shield. He's not ignoring the strength. Now he's also ignoring. He's inflicting more damage based on how many buffs they have on them. He's here to just kill tanks. Stacks up to a 50%. Damn. So 5 buffs, 50% additional damage, and by an additional 10% for each buff on this champion. Stacks up to a 50%. So you have 2 buffs on you, the enemy. That's 20%. He has 2 buffs on himself. That's 20%. So he's dealing 40% damage. So that's just assuming you have 4 buffs in total. So he's gonna do a lot of damage right here on enemies who are tanks, who have shields, who have buffs, any type of buffs on them. It's just gonna loot them extremely harder. If this attack kills a target under 3 or more buffs, places a block revive. So the more the buffs you have on your enemy, the more that they cannot even come back to life. So 3 or more. Once the enemy has 3 or more buffs, he just bye-bye, you're not coming back. That tank will not come back to life. When he's already ignoring their passive, that he's keeping them alive and all that stuff. They're just creating a solution to a problem that already exists in Raid, which is a bunch of champions who you're dealing damage to and they are not taking any damage. Also grants an extra turn if this attack kills an enemy when she's on the same team. That's why he's on a 4-turn cooldown, because they know he's going to be using this skill a lot, or it will reset and come back a lot. And when she's on the same team, she will just be resetting the cooldown of this particular skill or the A2, so you can use it again and again. On the passive, this champion will receive 50% less damage, so he's benefiting from a passive. Meanwhile, he doesn't want the enemies to benefit from a passive. He's gonna take less damage when attacked by enemies, including bosses and their minions. Out of their active turn. So it's gonna be like ally join attack and all those things that when it's not their turn, they take a skill, they take a hit. Let me say I use Necrit or some other champion who just goes in with others ally attack champions. He takes 50% less damage if you use that type of champion to try to take him down. When it's not their turn, they hit him. He's like, nope, it's not your turn. Don't do damage to me. 50% less though. But if she's in the same team, this champion will receive no damage when attacked by enemies out of their own active turn. So you don't want to use ally attack champions on this with this champion. Damn. That's not a crazy passive though. It's very conditional. It solves a particular problem in Raid. The PvP champions, the PvP players will know how this can be beneficial to them. But I can only think of ally attack champions right now. There are other instances that make champions like a Rotos. I don't know if that counts as an extra turn, but champions who just keep taking turns when it's not even their turn. All right. This effect does not apply against bosses as usual. This champion will also ignore shield and strengthen balls. This champion will also ignore shield and strengthen balls. If she's on the same team. Increase ally HP in all battles by 33%. That means they want him not just for arena, for everywhere, including Sintranos. That's amazing. That means his damage will be based on HP since he has this HP aura. All right, let's not take the spotlight off this new Wight Queen Ankora. We just wanted to see her partner because she's built to sustain him, to make him more useful, more viable. And without him in the team, because since it's void, most people will not be able to get this champion called Wight King Naris. Only spenders will be able to get him. But if you're a free-to-play player, or if you've been playing long enough, endgame player, go ahead, prep yourself for this upcoming Fragment event. And yes, she's worth going for. From what I've seen so far, can compare her to a Python if you want. You can compare her to any full team cleanser you know in the game right now. But she has unique abilities that will be in synergy with this champion. That's her selling point, I guess. But if you don't want her, or if you don't want him, or you're not going to get him anytime soon, she alone can stand firm in your team and be a good support champion. I like the fact that she resets the cooldown of that revived ally skill. It's not a full bring everybody back to life type of thing, but when she does bring them back to life, their skill will be available for them to use again. So that's going to be useful somewhere. So we don't always have to rely on one champion to do that for us in raid. Then her AoE cleanse, I like it also. So that's the Fragment event for the month of February. Let me know in the comments what you think about Wight Queen Ankora. I personally am going to be going for this one on my main account. Now head over to the Noob to Pro. Maybe when the Fusion calendar is launched, that's when I'll tell you whether the Noob to Pro can achieve this or not. But I'll start saving my resources. I'll start farming the campaign, doing all those Fusion prep ahead for a week of, Fusion prep. Might be enough for you to get some silver saved up, 20, 40, 50 million silver saved up, depending on where you are in the game, because a fusion like this, I wouldn't expect this one to be easy. Now I'm praying they don't make us do champion chase and summon rush at the same time on a Fragment event like this. But because we've just read out our skills, this tells me that this is one of those ones that will require 2 summoning event. But we'll have to wait until we see the Fusion event calendar to decide whether it's one that we will skip with some regrets, or one that we will boldly just reject and skip because they made it too difficult. All right, take note, Plarium, please make it achievable. Not everybody is going for both of them, but for those players who can just achieve her alone, who can use her alone, don't make her too difficult. And then when I post about a free-to-play 2024 update, I'll tell you on that account whether this is going to be achievable or not when I show you the resources that account has saved up so far. Whether it's going to be one that other content creators are going for or not, I'll have to see what everybody is saying about her to see whether an account that has been playing for about a month or up to almost a month can go for this or not. All right, guys, I would love to hear your comments about this new legendary fusion coming up in 8th of February. Let me know what you think about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Later, guys.